Hi, tell me, when did our civilization decide that this illusion of separation was worth building cultures and a society upon? Because you see, all this thing that I'm here, you're there, and there's the void between us, and nature is something completely different from us, and we should destroy it as much as possible so we can advance. When did this become a good idea? Don't you hear how upside down it sounds? Doesn't it sound like a completely upside down concept? It feels so wrong to me. So stay here because I'm going to tell you a story and there's a message for you at the end. I think it's time for us to realize that the universe is trying to send us messages through nature. So we need to pay attention. I started paying attention to the animals that came into my life a few years ago. And I have quite a few stories to tell you, but this one is the latest one. This one is about herons. I first noticed a heron a couple of years ago. I was at a retreat in Holland and I was walking in nature and I noticed there was a heron on a field. And it was just a random nature image, but somehow it stuck with me. A few days later, I flew back home and the next morning I saw a heron here. Now, herons have probably been here forever, but then it was time for me to notice them. And then I noticed more and more of them. And whenever I was in the presence of a heron, here by the pond, near a ditch, anywhere really, I would feel its presence deep in my core. And that might mean there's a message for me in there. But this dialogue with herons intensified in the past 8-9 months. And I managed to summon one 3 times. I tried 3 times and 3 times it worked. I would come here by the pond and summon the heron and telling him, because I think it's a him, that I felt close to him and I sent love and I asked him to come please and say hi to me. And all the 3 times, the next day I would see it or him by that ditch over there. And yeah, it was just standing there, and as soon as I approached it flew away, which is what herons do, right? But in my case, it felt like it was waiting for me, and then as soon as I acknowledged it, or him, it flew away. And I felt it, I felt the presence. Again, this is the most important bit. And the nature of this interaction was such that I would see a heron every now and then, really every few weeks, every month or so. But then this happened. One day, I saw one heron by the pond. And I said hi. Then I took the car to drive to work and I saw a heron crossing the highway just in front of my car, meaning a few meters from me, and that had never happened before to me. And then the same day I ended my shift at work, took the car to drive back home, and as soon as I entered the highway, that end of the highway, I saw from the corner of my eye a heron passing a few feet from my car at the back here. And I started wondering why 3 herons in one day and crossing my path in such explicit way, trying to call for my attention. That day was the day before the US elections, November 5th. So the spiritual meaning of heron is about patience, resilience, standing our ground, being in our power. So that's a strong message to tell us just before November 5th. So all this to say, please pay attention to the animals that come into your life, because if they come again and again, there might be a message for you there.